Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbara and I'm so happy that you're here today because today the Climate Fiction Prize Award is announcing their winner for 2026. And I made a video when they released the long list of the 12 books, and so today, May 27th, they're announcing the winner of all these 12 books. If you never heard of the Climate Fiction Prize, and this is only the second year this prize is running. It's supported or kind of hosted by Climate Spring, and they focus on books and stories that in some way incorporate the climate change and the nature. In one way or another. There is a wide range of genres. There is a thriller, sci-fi, there is a fantasy, there is a historical fiction, dystopia, of course, kind of magical realism. There are different, like many different genres, or well, not that many, but quite many different genres, just literary fiction. And I so far have read 5 of the 12 books that were nominated on, like, in total for the long list. I'm currently reading 6th one, so when I finish the book I'm currently reading, it will be 6 books. However, from the short list I read only 2 books so far, and the book that I'm currently reading was not shortlisted. So we shall see which of these 2 books, or if any of these 2 books will be picked, not which. Yeah, the one that wins will definitely be the next on my TBR, for sure. The books that I've read so far, I've been focusing on the ones that I could have gotten from library. So those, I got all of them from library, including the one I'm currently reading. The currently read is Helm by Sarah Hall, which is a very interesting book. The main character is the wind, you know, in the air, the wind. And so far I'm only 15 pages in, so it's not, you know, not much yet, not many impressions, but so far very cool. I own 2 of the books. One of them I own physically because this was the sci-fi pick for the reading group in my local bookstore. Every Version of You by Grace Chen. Now this is a different Every Version of You because I know there is one other book that is very popular, I think is a romance, that is called Every Version of You, and that's been released just a few months ago. This is a different one. This is a dystopia set in 2080. Year 2080-ish in Australia, where everybody uses or kind of lives with this virtual reality. Kind of similar vibe to Ready Player One from the beginning. You know, people work and work and study and meet up in the virtual reality. And yeah, this takes, of course, a different turn from the Ready Player One, but this is the one I own, and so far from the 5 books that I have read, this is my favorite of all of them, but this one didn't make it to the shortlist either, unfortunately. And another book I own, I have it on my Kindle, so that one I do not own physically, but I have it on my Kindle. I found it for like €1, and it's Endling by Maria Reva, and that one is set in Ukraine, just on the brink of the war with Russia, or before the invasion by Russia. And we follow our main character, who is a scientist and is trying to save snails. So she travels around Ukraine and is trying to save different kinds of snails. And I really adored this book. It was 4.5 stars for me. I loved it. It had different formats, it had the author talking to you, but not really. It was so intriguing, interesting, confusing. I loved it. But it comes second to this one, actually. I love this one a bit more. And that one, and Link, that one did make it to the shortlist. Another book from the shortlist that I read was Hum by Helen Phillips, which was very interesting, and I did like it, but I didn't love it. I thought there was a lot missing. I thought it was very forgettable. There we follow basically a family with 2 children, and everybody lives with this, not with the bots are everywhere around, kind of like a living AI between the people. Basically everything is monitored, and then they go for a trip to this botanical garden because it's like the last remaining botanical garden, or last remaining place where all these species, whether it is fauna or flora, are still alive. And so they make a kind of vacation weekend there, and the things escalate, it gets crazy. We have main character that is kind of mad but also very reasonable at the same time. I really enjoyed it, but it missed a lot. So that one is not my favorite to win this prize, but I thought it was very interesting and thought-provoking. And then I read, what I haven't talked to you about yet, was Juice by Tim Winton and Sunbirth by Anne Yu. And both of these books were kind of just average for me. Juice was very dystopian. I don't even know what it was about, honestly. It was so strange. I did not understand half of what was happening and why it was happening. It was frustrating. I did not love the characters, and it was just kind of confusing, like what's actually happening. And it's a really, really long one too. It's over 500 pages. So that one was not my favorite. It was very interesting to read, but I did not love it. And then Sunbirth by Anne Yu is my least favorite from the bunch that I've read so far. And that one is just plain weird. Just plain weird. The sun in this world is slowly disappearing. So day by day the sun is getting, like, part of the sun that is shining is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, kind of like the moon phases, but it's the sun and it's permanent. And so, you know, the life on Earth has to change accordingly, because that's not what the life on Earth is built on or created on. And so this causes a lot of issues. And then there are these people that come that instead of their head is kind of a sun, and they shine the light. And they get really strange. They don't know if it's contagious or if people like that die or what's happening. We don't know. And we kind of investigate that, and it's so strange. I did not like it, but again, it was such an interesting concept. I gave it, I think, 2.5 stars. So that one's definitely my least favorite. I think I just didn't get it. I think it just flew over my head. Maybe it was really interesting, but somebody would need to explain that one to me. So those are the 5 books that I have read. My favorite one was not shortlisted, but from the shortlisted ones I read 2, and my favorite of those 2 was Endling. But the other books that were shortlisted was Dusk by Robbie Arnott, The Tiger's Share by Keshav Guha, and Awake in the Floating City by Susanna Kwan, and The Book of Records by Madeline Thien. So it was 6 books that were shortlisted, and I think now it's time, the live show maybe even started 5 minutes ago, but now it's time to look at the live show and see who the winner is. Feels like we are so close to the winner announcement. Alright, so the winner is Ham by Helen Phillips. It is one of the 2 books that I read. I liked the Endling more, just because it didn't make me more, how to describe it? As the author described, I will link down below the announcement video if it's gonna be saved somewhere. I really hope so. So you can watch it, what the author said about the book and everything. But it is true that it was very close to me in a way that I could relate very much to the main character, kind of obsessing over her children being stuck in a computer, or, you know, like we are on the phones, or our children are on the phones. These children in the book have kind of like a thing on their wrist called Bunny, and everything is in there. You know, it's kind of like their smartphone, but it's attached to them. His mother kind of gets scared of it, because at some point one of them gets kind of like scary images on it. That's a little bit strange, and she doesn't understand what it is. So she gets really scared of it. She wants to reconnect with nature. She wants to reconnect with the husband. And yeah, it is very interesting. She is very distrustful of the hums. So hum is name of the bots that are the artificial intelligent bots in the society. And the best part of it, I think, is that it made us question how much we distrust the bots. Like I think it clearly and very well portrayed how artificial intelligence can be absolutely devastating and scary, while at the same time it could be also very helpful. And I think this novel portrayed it perfectly, but I still felt like it was missing something. There were some things that were unanswered, that we never found out what it was or why it was. Yeah, that's why I did not love it, but it was like right in the middle, 3.5 stars. So I'm not too upset. I'm not too upset. I'm gonna read the rest of the list. I do plan to read the entire 12 books and then make my own ranking. Ham will not win it, but you know, it was a very interesting read anyway, and it felt like very relatable. Like it was alternative world, kind of an alternative future to what we have now, but at the same time it was very close to what we have now somehow. So it was interesting. But I think that's it for this video then. I read the winner. That's great. That's great. I read the winner of the prize. I will link down below my video that I made when the long list was announced, so you can see what all the books on the list were. I go there through every single one of them and what they are about. So go check that one out if you would like. I will of course link down below also the webpage, the website of the Climate Fiction Prize, so you can check out their official website as well. And yeah, if you read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them, which one you liked, or which one of those were supposed to win, or if you're happy that Ham won. Just let me know, and yeah, I would love to discuss all of these books with you because I think they are all very fascinating. So I think that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!